Alright, what the problem is here is we got a new job at the shop, and the guy's at the wrong place, of course. He's down here at the house that's 32 Tangren Lane, and my address is 32 Tangren Circle. This always happens. This always happens. I don't understand why the guy that I bought the property from called this street Tangren. Alright? This is very confusing, and it should have been called something else, but he decided to name it Tangren, and then he gave me the address of 32 as the same address as his house over here. So what that happens is everything that's supposed to come to me goes over there first, and I either got to explain to him they're at the wrong place, it takes about 30 minutes to do that, or I got to do what I'm doing now, and that's actually go get them. So we're going to go down the road here to Tangren Lane, and we're going to go get them. It looks like they're going to start unloading the car down there, and that's not where we're going to go. So let's go roll the window down and explain to this guy where we're at. This is a 71 Chevelle. Okay. We're over here, guys.
Hey, hello.
Wrong place, my friend. Okay? Follow me, buddy.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so what we got here, we got a very unique and special car. This is a 1971 SS Super Sport Chevelle number matching big block job that's coming all the way from not Pittsburgh, but from upstate Pennsylvania. Our buddy Bobby Bussy bought this car, and we're going to go over this car when it gets over there to the shop. But let's make sure these guys know where we're going. Alright, y'all kind of follow me. Follow me. So it seems like this guy's a Russian guy, by the way. I think he's Slavic from Slavic Russia or something. And I don't know where they're from in the United States. But it seems like that's the only people that'll do this kind of work at reasonable prices is the foreigners. So, you know, at least we got some foreigners out there that aren't living and leeching off of the American government. So this is going to be a restoration. Now this is an East Coast restoration. And yeah, so let's let these guys get this thing unloaded. Where are y'all coming from? You know, speak English.
Yeah.
No Inglesio. Him? No English? Okay, where are you coming from with this? Where?
This is
Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania, yeah?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right, guys, what we want to do, does this car run and drive? Does it start up? Start, run. We need to get it and pull it here next to good old Chevy truck, okay? All right, you got keys, yes?
Yeah.
All right, so I think these guys are from the East Coast. They don't talk English. That's okay. We don't care. They're just here to drop the car off and get down the road. So let's go ahead and let them do their job. And when they get it done, we'll look it over. Beautiful car. Beautiful car. We love the Chevelle.
Yeah.
Hot rod.
Chevelle.
Hot rod car. American hot rod. The owner, Bobby, said that the brakes, are the brakes working? The brakes work? He said they don't work good. Be careful. Okay. Is this a standard shift? No automatic?
No.
Standard, okay. So this is a big block Chevelle, 71. And this is supposed to be a one-owner car. And he's going really slow. You got it, come on. Good job, buddy. Good job. Little farther, little more, come on. That's good. Okay, good job. Now, is that everything?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll check that out later. That's how the car came, like that? Is that all the parts we got? Yes, no?
I don't know.
We don't know, no comprende. Okay. Okay, we'll check out the vehicle and make sure everything's all right. Does this window roll up? Yes, it does. Let's roll that window up, buddy. Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
We'll see you later, Slavic. Where are you from?
Miami.
You're from Miami. Where at?
Miami,
What country?
Venezuela.
What country are you from?
Venezuela.
You're from Minnesota. You born
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Okay, thank you. Him too?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Peace out.
Thank you, sir.
Peace out. Goodbye. Thank you.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Okay, so we got the 1971 Chevelle. This is the factory original color. It does have some rust issues going on with it. I could see that under the paint in various places. This is the factory paint job with the factory stripes on it. This is a big block car. We got some rust right here. We got rust over here. And it looks like at one time, I think this car has been painted. This is not the original paint. You can see where the bodywork here, it doesn't line up perfect. But that's okay. We're going to make sure that we get this thing taken care of. It is a very nice car for the condition of being an East Coast car, if you know what I'm talking about. This is the original interior. It was green on green. It is a 4-speed standard shift vehicle. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what we got here. And I think this is our headliner. I believe that this is going to be our headliner setup right here. Yeah, that's gonna, there we go. All right, let's get that like that so it doesn't get all crinkled up. And then this is our butyl, which I don't know if I want to leave that in the car, so we'll make sure that we unload all this stuff. But it's a green on green. Let's go ahead and look at the engine and see what we got. And this is a big block car. Look what we got. This is a 396 number matching big block hot rod. I don't know if you noticed this. This is a stripped down model. It doesn't have any air conditioning. Doesn't have any kind of creature features. And it's just a straightforward hot rod car. Do you see this?
I see it.
I don't believe this is the original paint. It might be, but we're going to check that out later and find out. I believe that this car has been painted, because this is the reason I say this. See how this fits in here? Kind of funky, and there's a big gap right here, and this looks like this has been taken off. And if you look right here, come over my angle, you can see where they taped this off and paint. There's green paint on that trim. And then if we look at the back window, this is the real kicker of saying that this car has been painted before. If you come over here and look at the trim, I'm sure it was rusted out in this area right here. You can see, look how it's all imperfected here. And you can actually see where there's Bondo right here. If you come over, you look at that hump right, kind of come over here.
Yes, I see.
And you can see sand scratches in it. So this is,
here,
there's Bondo in this area, and then look at this here, it doesn't even line up that good. So I don't know if the owner, look, we got paint bubbling up right here. So, but I will say this is a very beautiful car. It's a nice car, and it is a car that is very well worth restoring. Let's see if there's any parts in the trunk. And we do have some stuff in the trunk. Okay, we got the lower quarters, which I don't know if those need replaced, so they are in here. We also have a lower front quarter section, I believe. Or no, this is actually the front fender. So this would be the front fender section right here. And you can see all the Bondo.
Yeah. That,
Look, come on over here, look. Are you ready? Watch, here we go, ready? Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Just a little bit of rust there.
Just a little bit, but I will tell you this. For being a East Coast, this is an East Coast American car, this thing is actually in really good shape. So you're going to want to follow us on this build job for our buddy Bobby up in I keep saying Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania.
Up in Pennsylvania. He has a farm up there and loves it. He says he loves his farm as much as we love Moab, Utah. And he shipped it all the way down here for my friend Pete to restore it. He said that the people up there, he took it to 7 or 8 shops. Nobody wanted to work on it, and everybody he got a price from wanted to charge him $1 million.
I believe it.
So
because that's how people are.
We're going to see what my friend Pete can do for him, and hopefully we're going to make it all work for Bobby. He's going to be happy, and we're going to pay some bills and get the car back to him as soon as we can.
It'll be less than $1 million, promise.
And it does run, so rare car, guys. This is a very, very rare car.
All the trim seems to be in really good,
Yep.
pretty good shape too.
All right, this is Pete, my friend Pete, with the factory race car, 1971 big block number matching race car with the plastic inner fender wells. That right there is a dead giveaway that this is a factory high performance race car, and we will be restoring it. We'll see you later. Take it easy, and make sure you follow us on this story. So the owner was very curious if this car's ever been painted before. I'm going to say that the car has been painted before, and I think we went over it the other day, didn't we?
Yes, you've mentioned it
When we
several
showed it up here.
times.
So he also asked if there was any bodywork in it, and what I did is I took my magnet. This is a Bondo finder. That's called a paint measure gauge. And what I did is I went around the car, and come on over here and I'll show you how this works. And it's got a gauge on there. Do you see the gauge? So that's showing that it's just got paint and primer. Okay? So I kind of went down the car like this. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just randomly picking areas. And so far we're actually in pretty good shape here. Alright, so look at here. See, I'm pulling the magnet and running it across here all at the same time. And it all feels pretty good. Now, back it up over here. When we get down to the bottom of this door right here, I don't know if you can see where that fender is sticking out past the door. You see that?
Yeah.
So when we get down here, you can see the magnet doesn't stick at all. Now, take for granted that this has got, heavy rust in it, but still that should be sticking. Now, we come over here, and you can see that it's not sticking until we get up here. Okay, so, yeah, see right here, it's not sticking at all. And then down on the rocker panel, of course, it sticks fine, but it goes all the way down to right there. Now, here's a good proof of verification something's going on. If I put it down here, okay, this has a lot of rust in it, so I'm sure they bondoed that up. We're going to grind it down, but when you get to the door, look.
The door's all right on this side.
The door's all right there. So come on over here. There was a spot that I found, and here it is right here. Do you see where the magnet's not sticking?
Yep.
And then it doesn't start sticking till right in this area here. Right there. So right here in this area, there's something going on. Now, it sticks fine here, but over here it won't stick at all. And it goes all the way down right to here, see? Now, another thing that we found the other day is we found there was paint on this chrome. Okay? So we're going to take this, and you can see, even though there's paint on that chrome, it looks like there's nothing going on. I can go all the way down the roof. Look how my magnet is pulling out, and it's really got a long strength. But when we get over here, now come on over here, and then we get right to here, and it's not sticking. So what I am suggesting, I'm going to pull the chrome off here. I think this is lead. I don't think this is Bondo. Now granted, there were imperfections at the factory. They didn't make them flawlessly perfect. Okay, but this is a little obscure and obnoxious. And then basically the same situation right in here. I'm speculating that's going to be lead. So that's basically the only areas that I found on this whole car that might possibly have Bondo in it. So the chrome on this vehicle has got to come off anyway, so we're going to go ahead and proceed to pop it off. If we can get it off, let's go ahead and find the clip. Sometimes these can be a little tricky to pop the clips off, but we will manage to get it off. And this is a special tool that you use to pull that clip off and go around it. And you can see it popping off as I'm taking it off. There it goes. Now, while I'm taking this off, I want to tell you the reason this molding is on here for two reasons. One reason is for beautification, of course, to make the car look nice. And another reason is, which is the main reason, is this is what actually holds this glass in. From the factory, they did not use urethane glue. What they did use is this product right here called Window Weld. And what this is called butyl. Now, this butyl is old, but I'm going to go ahead and open it. I want to show you this. This is factory original auto glass replacement kit. So let me go ahead and open that. I want to show it to you for everybody that doesn't know what this is. And the owner actually sent this down here with this car. We will not be using it. But as we pull it out, I want to show you what this is. This is called butyl. What they did is they took this butyl. I'm going to cut a little piece off. And you can see how stretchy it is. So you see that? Manny, the body shop girl.
Yep.
Okay, so they took this, and if you notice, it's already made in a bead. And then what they would do, they would go ahead and prime the lip around the car. They would prime that with a special primer, and then they would take this stuff, and then they would lay that down just like that all the way around. And then once this chrome is in the clips, it holds the glass in place. Now this is what was bad about this design. It was cool that they glued the glass in, you didn't have to use rubber anymore and all that. But the problem is once this chrome is down and you get water and debris like leaves and trash and limbs and dirt and dust, it gets down inside this groove, and then come on over here. It would settle down inside here. It would settle down in the ground, and then look at what I got here. I want to show you this butyl. Do you see how easy that's coming off, Minnie? Okay, that's butyl. Now, if this is the original butyl, I don't know. But this is what butyl is. That's the same thing as that stuff there. And that's the way this window was put in. But anyway, debris and trash would get down inside here, and then moisture and erosion would build up, and then it would rust this whole edge out across here. Nowadays, we wouldn't install the window with that. That would not be the way to do that. What we would do is we would get some urethane glue, and then of course, there we go right there. I just wanted to get this chrome off. So you can see right here, now this looks in really good shape. This hasn't ever, I believe it's been fixed right here. Look right here what we got. You can see, or it's actually, we caught it just in the right time. Look at that. See where it's, can you kind of zoom in there and look at it a little bit?
Yeah.
See that right there? So this, I don't think that's rust and rot forming. I think what that is, that's the lead right here. So this is the side that was really in question. Let's go ahead and pop this off and see what we got. And I can already tell that this car has been painted before, and the way that I can tell is two reasons. One, that the clips, the molding has paint on the edge of it, And another reason is if you look at the clips, you can see they're different colors. Look at this one here is a different color. Here's a clip that actually fell off and it's painted green, and all them other ones are green. That means that they took this all apart and painted it. And you got to be careful, these things can be tricky. There you go. So I'm going to pull that out of there like that. I'm going to put this up here. And then we're going to look at this edge right here. And I'm going to go ahead and take this tool and scratch that. And you can see that's metal, that's lead. So that is actually a factory flaw. Now this is the issue that you have with a collector car such as this. Sometimes it's better to leave the factory flaws in the vehicle because it came from the factory that way. And if this is a highly desirable collector car, people are going to want the factory flaws left alone. It makes the car worth a lot more money when it comes from the factory and you still have these flaws instead of grinding it down, fixing it up, and making it look flawlessly perfect. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is a factory flaw where they leaded that in, and then of course there's a hump here, and just left it that way and popped the chrome on it. Now another thing about factory is this line right here. This is a seam line where this filler panel meets the quarter panel. Now a lot of guys, when they replace quarter panels, what they're going to do is they're going to Bondo that up where it's smooth and you don't see it. That's the wrong thing to do. On a car like this, that has got to be there. That's the first thing that a car collector looks at, is this body line, to see if that's original or if it is replaced.
Altered in any way.
And you can tell that this is an original one because how tight that it fits, and there's no flaws in it. So we basically just found out the situation that my friend Pete found on the back of this window is due to the lead job from the factory. So that's actually good. All right, so now that we found out what's going on with the back window, let's go ahead and look what's going on right here on this lower door. Once again, this car has been painted before. We already found that out. We saw signs being painted. I'm showing you places to look to see if it's been painted. We saw that the chrome had paint on it. And actually, and I'll show you this up here, the door window scraper rubber has paint on it very, very lightly. If you take your eyeball and zoom in, you can literally see where they taped it off and there's paint on that. But we want to see what's going on right here. And we know that this is rusted, so let's go ahead. You see what I'm looking at?
Looks like Bondo.
So that's Bondo. We got red primer on top of that, and then we got green paint. Now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to do it right here, because we're going to repaint this whole car. So what we're doing is we're trying to find out what's going on with it. So we know that this fender's been painted with 100%. We know that for a fact. Let's go ahead. We're just going to feather this out and see where it takes us. Do you see what I just found out? So this car was actually, at one time, this car was actually professionally, I would say semi-professionally restored. The reason I'm saying that is because they stripped this car down to bare metal before they repainted it. Now another thing I'm looking at, I don't see any sort of type of primer. Look at this here. I don't see any primer whatsoever on this. It looks like it's just paint on metal. Now I could be wrong, but I'm thinking what they did is they went ahead and took some epoxy primer, they tinted the primer green, and then put one coat of epoxy primer on it and painted it. Another thing that I noticed, there's no clear coat on this. More than likely, this is an acrylic enamel paint job. This is not a lacquer paint job, but then on the other hand, it could be a lacquer paint job, but there's no clear coat on this vehicle. I'm presuming by the shine and the way that it still has a good gloss, This is going to be single stage acrylic enamel. Let's go over here on this door. And just as we expected, we got body damage. I want to see how high that body damage goes. But if you look right here, this looks like primer. So let's go up here. We're going to see how far the body damage goes. And it stops right here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So it stops here, and then this whole door is Bondo all the way to wherever I found it. Another thing is, look here, here's some red primer right here. Let's go ahead and hit that. And there's Bondo. If you're looking at that bright red, do you know what that is? See the bright red color?
Yeah, it's primer, isn't it?
No, that is not primer.
What is
The
it?
bright red color is spot putty. That was a very, very popular item, and to this day, the cheap, inexpensive fly-by-night paint body shops will still use that spot putty. Before polyester putty was designed and made, where you actually use a hardener with it, like the Evercoat polyester putty, this is the way that they did it, and it came in a big tube. It was a tube about that big, and you take your spreader, you squirt it on there, and then you go over it.
Hey, I remember you used to have some of that when I first met
A
you.
long time ago, and I think that tube that I had, I ended up throwing away because it was like 10 years old. And you can see they really swiped this good with that putty. They primed it first, they swiped this area with that putty, then they went ahead and primed it again and painted it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. When this car was painted, it was probably not a car that they were restoring, a restoration paint job like you would do today on a vehicle like this. Probably this was just a repaint like you would do on a new car today. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, just to brighten it up.
Just to make it look new again. So I don't know if this was done at Earl Shives or Mako, but I'm sure whoever did this, they did take their time to strip it down to bare metal. So we basically have the same situation on this fender down here. Once again, we went over the whole car. You saw me do that. But down in this section right here, we came across an area where the magnet would not stick. And you can see how this fender sticks out. And also this fender is completely ripped away from the intersection there, the fender lip. And as I thought, there's Bondo. And a very thick layer of that spot putty on top of it.
So they use that spot putty like you use Evercoat these days.
That's right. This red 3M, and they still sell this stuff to this day. The red spot putty was used pretty much identically as you would use Evercoat brand or 3M brand polyester putty, which is a very creamy substance, and you add a very small part of hardener to it, and then you can swipe it. So yes, that's exactly what it was used for. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm thinking that this car was painted in the 80s. The late 80s, possibly early 90s. That's my suggestion on this. So we're going to go ahead and take it right here, and we're going to go ahead and hit this. And sure enough, there's Bondo right here. I'm thinking that either the guy was pulling in somewhere and he hit it here, he was backing out, or maybe possibly someone at a store might have slammed his door into it, or somebody might have backed into it, or something happened. But in this section here, this is an issue that we'll have to look at. So let's go ahead and pick one more spot here. I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to hit this to see if this goes down to bare metal or if it goes to the factory paint. And as you can see, it goes directly as bare metal, and the metal is very clean. Look how clean the metal is. It's bright silver. It's got a very thin coat of epoxy primer. I'm going to call that epoxy primer underneath it, and then paint on top of it. And you can see where they did their body work. Kind of read the map here, their body work, and then they feathered this green paint, they feathered the primer into this area right here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then painted the car. So that basically concludes the inspection of this vehicle. One more thing, this car's got many, many dings all over it, everywhere. All up and down the body lines, from side to side, front to back. There's not major damage on the top. All the panels on the top are good. The hood is in excellent condition. The trunk is in excellent condition. The top of the car is excellent condition. And the stainless steel that we're looking at is in excellent condition on this car. I did notice right here, I don't know if you can see it in the light. Okay, that wasn't nothing. I thought that had a DA mark on it. But this is all in super excellent condition. If you look right here, this is where I was talking about, you can see paint. If you can get that camera down there, right there where my finger is, you can see where they taped that off.
Oh, yeah.
And a paint line. So once again, this is Pete, and we are getting ready to do a full restoration on this car. I'm actually going to suggest to the car owner that we hand strip this car to bare metal. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's not a lot of paint on this car.
Should strip easy.
It should strip very easily. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And another thing is this is a single stage paint. We could paint on top of it. There should be no problem with it. I can do body work, prime it, and we can do it just like I did this car. This car actually has been painted twice. The original color was red, and then the owner of the vehicle now, 25 years ago, they painted it yellow. You can see the yellow paint inside right here, and all of this was painted. These people were on a very, very tight budget. They couldn't afford to strip it down to bare metal. And another thing about this car, when I did my thorough exam on it, before I started on it, this car has a lot of BONDO in it. This is, I wouldn't call it a BONDO buggy, but there's major body work all over the car, top, sides, bottom, everywhere. So I am going to go ahead and suggest to the owner that this car be stripped down to bare metal. I think that would be the best thing to do. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
This would be a very good candidate to strip down to bare metal and redo the whole car. There's not a lot of body work in this car. It's very minimal. If this had a lot of BONDO in it, like the Nova in there, I would say no, let's not strip it. But since the body work is very minor and mild, I believe that the best thing to do with this is strip it to bare metal. And we're not talking blasting. Now let me show you the difference between stripping. This car will be stripped by hand. This truck over here is going to be blasted. We are not going to hand strip this. This is a job once we get it ready, and this has already been blasted. You can see this. This looks brand new. This was actually wet blasted, dustless blasting. And then we went ahead and restored this frame. The cab of this truck is going to be dustless blasted, and then we will come back and restore it. And this is a Jeep that I'm restoring. I'm just getting started on it. And this was actually dustless blasted. Alright, so this has been an extensive video of actually investigating the vehicle. Another thing I want you to look at when the light hits this, I want you to look at all the crow's foot. You can see all the crow's feet. That is, so yes, this would actually be better to strip this vehicle down to bare metal and do it the proper way than try to scuff and paint and do a high-end scuff and paint job like we were thinking we can do when was suggesting to bring the car down here. Now, once again, I want to let everybody know, this car is from Pennsylvania. This is an East Coast car, and I'm going to say this again, this car is in excellent condition. It's a very, very good, well-kept, garage-kept vehicle, and a very good specimen of what 1971 muscle cars were all about. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete.
Watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.